Globalization creates opportunities for many countries to experience economic growth. Economic growth is the increase in the amount of the goods and services produced by an economy over time. Now, what is the impact of global flows on the Global South? Global South are composed of regions having less income. It is composed of less developed nations. Global South have extensive poverty, low per capita income and standards of living, low literacy rates, and very limited technology. Often these nations lack strong government, financial, and economic systems to support a healthy business community. Their economies tend to be focused on agricultural production of raw materials, such as the mining and timber industries. There are many less developed nations in the world, with most located in Africa and Asia. Let us jump to another topic. Because of economic globalization, we've all heard of the great divide between life in rural and urban areas. The rural-urban gap can be seen in three measures that contrast welfare levels in the rural and urban areas. 1. Agricultural and non-agricultural productivity. 2. Poverty levels in rural and urban areas. And 3. Levels of infrastructure and public services deprivation in rural and urban areas. The productivity gap can be illustrated by comparing the productivity of labor employed in agriculture with the productivity of labor employed in other sectors. Examples of rural-urban gap are 1. Poverty is higher in rural areas. Discussions of poverty often mistakenly focus on urban areas. While urban poverty is a unique challenge, rates of poverty have historically been higher in rural than urban areas. And 2. Most new jobs aren't in rural areas. It's easy to see why many rural people believe the recession never ended. For them, it hasn't. Now, how is the gap affected by globalization? The productivity gap between agriculture and industry and services is the core issue underlying the appearance of an urban-rural gap. With such gap in productivity, it should come and no surprise that poverty is concentrated in rural areas. Agriculture and agriculture-related industry and services dominate rural areas, and unproductive and low-wage agriculture is unable to provide the dynamic, demand-led growth for the non-farm rural sector to prosper. The result is high poverty in rural areas, sometimes 2 to 3 times that in urban areas. In some places, the rise of global city on the agricultural sector is through bridging the rural-urban gap. Bridging the rural-urban gap begins with supporting farmers to produce according to the comparative advantage of the region. Through this, there will be reclaimed agriculture for agriculture, agricultural transformation, territorial development, and rural infrastructure services. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.